Hackers are accessing sensitive health data more than ever, and it could impact you.
Are healthcare providers doing enough to protect your personal information? Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum digs through that data and shows us how many have been exposed here in Arizona.
Whether you know it or not, cyber attacks are happening worldwide. Anyone's personal information is at risk at any given time.
It is so valuable. It's you. Your information is you.
In this digital age, access is opportunity for hackers.
Information is power.
And unauthorized access to health data is a red flag for privacy and safety concerns. You'd think when you give up personal info to a healthcare organization, you're in good hands. But the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office for Civil Rights operates a database revealing hundreds of breaches across the country in 2021 alone. These HIPAA-covered organizations include hospitals, doctors' offices, and insurance companies, which must report breaches impacting at least 500 patients.
Your name, your social security number, your driver's license, your address. You're giving them information about perhaps things that ail you.
Aaron Jones is program champion at the University of Advancing Technology in Tempe. He's the lead cyber instructor at the school, where students learn subjects to include technology innovation, video game design, and cybersecurity. But Jones says employees for hospital systems and businesses need to be educated on hacking incidents.
Across the board, we see a lack of training. We see individuals who are not being stressed with knowledge about not clicking.
Healthcare data breaches surged to an all-time high last year, with 679 breaches impacting 45 million people, the vast majority healthcare providers. We went through the OCR database to see how many companies have been breached here in Arizona. 20 entities currently have cases under investigation. 16 of them are due to hacking or IT incidents. You may recognize some of the names like Assured Imaging, nearly 245,000 people affected by the data breach in the network server. Cochise Ion Laser with 100,000 patients compromised due to a hacker. Arizona Asthma and Allergy Institute with just a little more than 70,000 individuals impacted by the same type of breach. All told, nearly 600,000 records have been exposed in Arizona within the last 2 years.
What happened in healthcare is it actually kind of pushed out with remote sessions, with tele-learning, right? And telemedicine has come along, and that pushed more responsibility on patients to protect their own data.
John Comer owns Kraken Cybersecurity Group. He's a consultant to several companies. He says the increased virtual approach to daily routines brought on by the pandemic opened the door wider for hackers.
So for companies, it's really a challenge to keep one ahead of the bad guys. We call them threat actors.
Your valuable information can be sold on the dark web or used for identity theft. Comer says cyber criminals can file false Medicare claims, and by law, healthcare organizations are supposed to notify people affected by a data breach.
If they haven't protected the data, the release can be really damaging. I've seen clinics and others actually close down because they were not in compliance with federal law, with HIPAA.
I posted the list of HIPAA-covered entities in Arizona breached for health data, his public record, and I wanted to hear from someone who could be affected.
I actually reached out to you right away because I was like, what is going on? Because unfortunately, I never received any correspondence from them that this happened.
We're protecting this woman's identity, but she tells me she relies on services provided by A New Leaf, a nonprofit organization helping those experiencing homelessness or domestic violence.
I don't want to say we're in hiding, but we're kind of in a program that keeps us hidden. And to have our personal information hacked into and stolen is very scary.
A hacking incident in New Leaf's network server impacted about 10,000 people last December. Comer says once cyber criminals know your email, you could be targeted with a ransomware attack. It's a form of malware designed to block you from access to files on your computer. The files become encrypted, and you're told to pay a ransom for the decryption key.
If you get an email from a healthcare organization asking you for your information and says, click on this link to update it, they don't do that. Don't click.
Jones says two-factor authentication is a safe tool, but use a code generator rather than text to keep your information safe.
They'll oftentimes tell you, hey, we can send you a text to your phone. It'll be maybe a 6-digit code, and then you can just put that in. That's actually incredibly weak and very, very vulnerable.
Experts also advise you to find out how trained and prepared your healthcare provider or health insurer is against data breaches.
I think they need to prepare for it and check on it periodically and not just react.
To check out the entire list of healthcare data breaches under investigation here in Arizona, head to fox10phoenix.com. We'll also link you to the Office for Civil Rights Breach portal so you can see other cases that have been resolved all around the country and see if you've ever been affected. For Fox 10 Investigates, I'm Justin Lum.